welcome back to Unpacked Radio. We all know I'm Nisha. And this is my co-host. No, that's me too, right?
Hey.
That's the host, Norris, the Pope Johnson.
I am Tucker.
Thank you guys for joining us. You look really tired. What's going on?
Man, you have some crazy Marine Army veteran flipping you and putting you all types. And you're the big person in
That
class.
doesn't sound
You're a
bad
big
to me.
person in class. They leg sweeping you.
Crazy.
I don't care. I'm hit you with that joint to hit me with in my knee. And
guy flipping me. Like,
hey,
that sounds kind of.
Hey, I mean,
I might need
you
his
show
number.
me a mean chokehold too. You want that too?
No, you can keep the chokehold. That doesn't sound good at all. That doesn't sound good at all. So, who's our guest for this episode?
Sweet young lady, around the way girl, around my way at least. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
I'm sorry. Hold on. Let's clarify.
LW crew. LW crew.
What's LW?
Oh, see, I forgot you from the other end of earth. You know what I mean? I'm from the good end of earth. You know what I mean?
The good end of earth?
Lincoln West Morgan, baby.
What the hell is that?
Hey man, 809 R Street.
Is that Northwest?
Yes, Northwest,
Okay,
baby.
you said 809 R Street like DC don't have R Street all over the place. DC has an R Street in South East. DC has an R Street in
We
Northeast.
talking about
DC
your
has
end
an
of the
R Street in
world.
Southwest.
That's all the bad. We talking about the best end of the world,
Oh,
man.
get the
The
hell
best
outta
end
here.
in the world. The Northwest side, baby.
Oh Lord.
Yeah,
we're not doing this. So she's from your neighborhood.
She around the way girl, Miss
Okay,
LaShanwn.
nice.
Williams. Sweet young lady too. Sweet young lady.
Okay.
So hopefully we got her backstage. You know what I mean? Hopefully it's working out. We'll keep our fingers crossed, man. This is gonna be our last virtual interview. From now on, there will be no more virtual interviews. You can't bring your ass in the studio.
Oh, that's right. We had a sticky week last week too. Remember when the guy we couldn't get him on? It was like
this is it. This is it. Let's see how the robots do.
Is she backstage, Chuck?
Oh, goddamn.
All right. So why don't you tell us about your week? Last week, might as well,
Well, next week gonna be real turn up week. We're gonna be on travel, man. USPA, stand up.
Yes.
Man,
What's USPA?
United States Powerlifting Association. So I gotta go out there and do my thing. I got my outfit laid out. I got 2 different outfits. I got my Hydra shirt.
What's a Hydra shirt? Is it like a water shirt that suck like what is
you
a
never
Hydra
heard
shirt?
of Hydra, Tanisha?
Hydra means water. But what
Even Kim know who Hydra is.
Oh, is that like a brand? Okay, so just so you know, this is you on the rap interview. Huh? What's that? What's that?
Without order, there's only chaos. Hell, Hydra.
Oh, Hydra. Okay. I thought you were going like a Bane thing.
Okay. Nah.
Can you go ahead and bring our guest on?
I'm taking your damn nerd card. Hey, your black card. Hey, you talk about.
Well, you said Hydra. How was I supposed to know you wasn't talking about water or like some brand or?
Nah. Fuck, man, bring up the guest, Trump. I don't want to talk to you.
Hey, LaShanwn, thank you for joining us. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Like I said earlier, man, around the way, girl, man, around my neighborhood, Tanisha act like she ain't know what 809 R Street, Lincoln West Morgan was. LW, stand up.
First of all,
the Green Line area, not that bad area over there, when they had to build up all types of townhouses and stuff to make it look fancy.
They did that in Northwest too.
We still hood on our end of town.
Get out of here.
We got the writer Single Mom 1 and Single Mom 2. A good homegirl of mine, like I said, around my way, Miss LaShanwn Williams. Tanisha, start us off because you are a mother. So, this is more your wheelhouse than my wheelhouse.
It might be.
The only thing I can watch is a plant. So that's it. That's all.
So looking at your page, LaShanwn, looks like you have 4 or 5 books, right?
Yes.
What's the book that got you started?
Single Mom 1.
Okay. Can you tell us the motivation behind Single Mom 1?
I had met this lady and she actually her mom was a single mom. And, I could tell just based on the conversation with her that she felt some kind of way as if she was shortchanged because her mom was a single mom, and as a result, after talking to her and sharing with her that, hey, I'm a single mom and I don't feel like my son is any less than any other child or whatever, that, and after talking to her, she said, I think you need to write down what you just shared with me. And it just kind of laid on my heart. And it's like God just kept saying, you need to share your story. You need to share your story. And, I started writing, little bits and pieces down. But then it was like he was encouraging me, be as transparent as possible. And I'm like, you want me to tell everything? you know the good and the really really bad. So he's like, yeah, because that is what somebody out there needs to hear in order to heal, in order to know that they're not the only one. So I'm like, okay. So then I talked to my son and I'm like, listen, I'm going to write, my story, my experience, and there are going to be things in the story that you never knew. Because my thing is, when I raised my son, I never talked negatively about his dad. I mean, I just never thought that was, productive. I mean, that wasn't going to benefit him, nor was it going to benefit me, So with that said, I explained to him, like, there's some things that, I'm going to reveal in this book, but I need to know that you are okay with it. Knowing that, once you learn these things, I don't want you to look at your father differently. Because again, we were young. And sometimes when you're young, you make really bad decisions, and we're not here to pretty much judge each other. In a sense, we're supposed to learn and grow from, our mistakes, and anyway, he read everything, and he was even like, he's like, Mom, I think people in my age group need to hear your story, because I know a lot of young girls who have babies and they're struggling, trying to figure things out. I said, So I'm like, okay, now God is telling me to do this. Now my son is on board. I can't run away from it. If everybody is saying this is what I need to do, and I did it. I just said to myself, I have to set my pride to the side and do it. If it's going to help somebody else, if it's going to give somebody else that motivation to know that you're valuable, even though, you were in a bad relationship and it didn't work for whatever reason, and again, we have people who are single moms. There are different types of single moms. I'll put it that way. I mean, because you actually have some fathers in the homes, but they're not there. I mean, because, they might be suffering with some sort of mental illness. They might work all the time. And when they get home, they're just as disconnected as if they're not physically there, So to me, that's a single, I mean, and the mom is kind of like taking on the role all by herself. So you have that kind of that scenario as a single mom. Then, you have some women who, may have had like the father to pass away, or in my case, the father was in prison, or you may have a situation where the father never took ownership of the child, so it's different scenarios, but the thing that they all have in common is that they run so deep, because at the end of the day, when you end up being that single mom and playing that role, sometimes you're really hard on yourself. You begin to think like, what could I have done differently? And because if you don't have like that father in the picture to kind of like share the blame with, then you kind of like, and it can take on shame depending on how your family is, because sometimes people frown upon that. It's like, oh well, why would you have had a child out of wedlock? How could you have done that? At least when I was growing up, people kind of made me feel like that's the worst thing you could have done, only to find out the majority of the people who judged me and said that was the worst thing I could have done, they had done it themselves. But they never they never would share it. I had to grow up and kind of put the pieces together myself and say, oh, so I wasn't the only one, but again, back to you, because I don't want to like, keep going without allowing you to ask questions.
I was definitely going to ask you what your definition of a single mom was next, but you already ran through it, and thank you. I appreciate you.
I do have a question, because
Sure.
I was raised by a single mother, and both y'all are mothers on this stage. You know,
I'm not a single mother.
Not on. I didn't see. Listen,
I have to make sure I put that out there because my definition of single mother.
I did not say both of y'all are single. I said both of y'all are mothers on this.
Mm-hmm.
You gave birth to a human. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
listen.
True.
Now I did recently this long week I ran into a young lady who got like 3 kids who doing it by herself and working crazy hours and going through all this crazy training. So as women who have children on whatever level you have children on, how difficult is it to do this job of being a mother? See, that was going to be my question. Single otherwise, how difficult is the job that you got to provide the nurturing, the finances, and everything else for a low-meaning human being and raise them to be a productive citizen?
I would say, do you want me to answer first, or did you want to?
I'm sorry, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, I would say that it's extremely difficult at times, simply because, you know, first of all, there's no guide to how to do it, you know, and naturally, if you want to be the best at it, you know, it's like, okay, you might, you know, decide, okay, well, I want to live in a certain neighborhood. I want to raise my child in a certain neighborhood, you know, so that might cause you to have to sacrifice a lot, you know, because one income nowadays is, you know, unless you're making a lot of money, I mean, sometimes it's hard, you know, just to kind of rely on one income. And if you have multiple kids, oh man, I mean, it can be tough, you know. And in my case, I elected to like send my son to private school. So that was an enormous burden for a single mom, because the schools looked at it like, oh, well, you don't apply. You don't qualify for financial aid because you're making good money. But I'm saying to myself, but I'm still a single mom. So, but you would think, oh, because it's just one person here, they would take that into consideration. But that's not the case, you know. Or even when my son started going to school in Maryland and I had to pay for his lunch, you know, so it's just these added fees. And then when he was in private school, you know, paying for books, you know, and paying for it was just all these added fees coming on. So it's a lot, you know. And I can only speak for myself, but yeah, that financial burden, it's a lot. And then trying to work and then having to come home and cook and clean and then help with homework and then making sure that he takes a bath. It's a lot. But I'll let you know, you share your experience, at least because I know it was tough. In my opinion, it was.
So I think I've always had like really, really, really good support.
Mm-hmm.
And having the really good support has probably made all the difference for me.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was tough, but
Mm-hmm.
luckily I had people, either relatives or the kids' dad, that like really stepped in, because I did a couple years in the military and I was traveling all the time, and people definitely stepped in and 100% raised my kids while I was gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had so much help. I don't think I felt as much of the brunt of it as I would if I didn't have help. But I can clearly remember the kid's dad saying to me one time, it has to be really hard because people expect you to be great at work, right? Like you have to be great at work so you can make all this money, right?
Right.
You're great at work trying to make all this money. It's kind of hard to also be great at parenting and make sure you raise like good quality citizens, right?
Yes.
It's hard to do both. It's hard to be at work all day, be at work from 8 to 8, and then go home, like you said, go home and make dinner, go home and get them in the bed, go home and make them take baths, go home and get them ready to eat, right?
Yes.
It's tough having to do all of that stuff by yourself. But somehow we all have found a way to do the best we can at it, right?
I agree. And I think you touched on a really good point, which is having like a village, you know, a support system that makes all the difference in the world, you know, because I did have my grandfather, you know, I did have like my cousin who would like, you know, take my son to daycare. I mean, that was huge, you know, being able to go to work and not have to worry about how am I going to drop him off and make it to work on time, you know, just something. It was like the small things meant so much. Or nevertheless, having like his cousins and his uncles on his father's side to like attend his games. That means a lot to a boy. It's one thing for mom to be there, but then to have another man to like actually come and show support, that goes a long way with the boy. I mean, at least that, in my opinion, not that it doesn't matter with girls, but I'm just speaking from my own perspective. I have a son, but and nevertheless, or even just reaching out to him. And let me just say this, and single mom too, I really kind of mention like things that people can do to kind of like support single moms, especially single moms who don't have, who, the father may not be in the picture at all, whether it's in prison or that father is just not acknowledging that child, or maybe the father has married and just kind of like forgot about that firstborn, because that happens. But I'm saying that in most families, even if you yourself don't happen to have a child with someone who's in prison, I'm sure you might have like an uncle or a brother or a cousin who might be in prison or whatever. And I think it's so important that you look out for those kids. If that person happens to have kids, and there are things that you can do to support that child that doesn't require money. And those things would be to, maybe like acknowledge them on their birthdays, on Christmas, even if you don't have money to buy a gift, but even if it's just to give them a call and say, happy birthday, I was thinking about you, or to check in, how you doing in school? And when they do make good grades, encourage them to make good grades. And when they do, celebrate them when they do, oh man, I knew you can do it. You a king, stuff like that. It goes a long way. Or, if you have that kind of kid, even if you can, invite them to your house so that they can spend time around your kids and see that, two parents, in the household. If you have a 2-parent household and you have a child in your family who doesn't have that, allow them to see that, like, so that they'll know that that does exist. It's just the little things that just go a long way. And, again, if you have somebody who happens to be in prison, maybe even if it's something like give that child, take them to visit that parent, just the little things mean so much, because I think what happens is, sometimes, because now we have a lot of women who are going to prison too. So I don't want to just speak for only for the men, because like I said, it's women too. But a lot of times when they go to prison, they kind of feel like they have lost. The only thing that they have when it comes to that child is maybe memories and the name of mom or dad. But everything else, they kind of lose it because they are away. So with that said, that doesn't necessarily have to be the case, because for me, I made sure that, my son stayed connected, and, even if it was like sending his report card, so his dad knew like what was going on, and making sure that they talked to each other regularly and was able to see each other as much as possible. And like I said, let him know, I mean, because a lot of times you don't have to ever speak bad about the absent parent, because kids are so smart. They're going to put the pieces together as time goes on. They know, well, mom is always here. Every time I have a game, every time there's something, mom is always here, but the other person is not here. So you don't have to tell them, because they're going to put it together. I guarantee you they will. They will. But again, like I said, yeah, that was just something that I kind of touched on in single mom too, just how to encourage parents, especially fathers, to stay connected with their kids, no matter what, because I think, we're losing out, and you're losing out in that area a lot of times, because a lot of times when the relationships, between the mom and dad don't work out, then the kids are the ones who kind of feel the pain. They're the one who get the short end of the stick. And I don't think that it always has to be that way. And in order, a lot of times, to maintain a positive relationship with that parent, especially if the relationship was really toxic, I definitely think that you have to have a good relationship with God, because you're going to need like his strength in order to forgive yourself first, and then begin to forgive that person, who, hey, look, we got a kid, things didn't work out, you know, you are feeling the pressure of like raising a kid by yourself, but you're going to need God to like give you that strength to co-parent with that person, you know, and kind of like take the high road, you know. So that's what I'm trying to encourage in single mom too, you know. But back to you. I've said a lot.
Ladies, that's not a lot. It's just good info. Ladies, I
Okay.
do have a question as a child of a single mother. How do you approach dating? I mean, when your kids are now they grown almost, but how did you do it when they were young? I mean, did you stay away from the dating world? Did you play it cautious? How did you approach the world of dating?
So I probably didn't really date because I was busy working, right? I really like
Mm,
to work. So I didn't really date. The way I dated then is probably the way I date now. Like I'll go out with some guy for a couple of months. If it looks like it's gonna work out, then we've been dating 6 months or so, and I would probably introduce them. Um, I'm like really cautious about who I introduce to my kids, especially people who I have a son and a daughter. So especially people I introduce to my son, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't want my son thinking that, mommy always has some new guy she's dating. And then
Yeah.
with my daughter, I don't want her to think that, she should randomly date people. Whether I
Yeah.
randomly date people or not, right? It's not
Yep.
gonna be something that I want them to see. So I'm super cautious when it comes to introducing my babies. And then you just don't know people nowadays, right? Maybe
Yep.
somebody's a pedophile, or like if I'm dating somebody, I don't care how long it is. I'd be like super cautious about leaving my kids around, right? If I'm walking out the door, my kids walking out the door too, you can't stay here with my babies. Um, I'm super
mm.
cautious about that.
Yeah.
LaShawn?
For me, I did date, you know. It took me a while, but once I did date, you know, one thing that I noticed is that the person that I dated, not a couple of people that I dated, after dating them for a while, they right away wanted kids with me. It was like, oh, I like the way that you raise your son. And, you know, I think we should have a child, this. But that's something that I never, ever was willing to do simply because I never wanted my son to feel left out. Not that that was, you know, a guarantee that that would happen, but I see it happen so much that sometimes, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I feel like you just have to be very selective when it comes to that. And I just never, because I knew for me, if I would have had another child, I knew that that father was going to be in the picture, you know, that father was going to be very connected to our child. And I knew that I was going to be a good mom, just like they were going to be a good father. But sometimes, and it all depends on the man, but sometimes once, you know, the man has their child, they kind of, I don't know. I just didn't want my son to feel left out. So for that reason, I don't know. I didn't want to like get really, really serious in a relationship for that reason, and definitely not have other kids, you
So
know. And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. You're fine.
Kind of skipped over your background. Book one's about your background, right? Please tell us your background.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. Um, I what else about my background? I have one son. I'm married now. My parents were born and raised in DC. Most of my family are in Washington, DC. I still live, well, I'm in Maryland now, and I live in Maryland. Um, yeah, I work in this area. I attended school in this area. I attended Strayer for undergraduate school. I attended the University of Maryland, College Park for graduate school. Um, yeah, that's about it.
So
I'm about
I'm
to
looking
say,
for,
what,
I'm
one second.
sorry.
I'm about to say, I seen the bling back there, and last time I saw, I didn't see that, so I knew something had to change because that joint right there is shining. It's blinding my eyes over there, so I knew something had to be updated. So I'm proud of you, man. Congratulations.
Oh, are you talking to me or are you talking
Yeah, that's
to?
on you. Yeah, I saw the ring blinking when you was moving your hands around. I was like, oh, something changed since last time I saw her. So,
Oh,
hey,
okay. No,
congratulations,
no, no.
man.
The last time I was on your show, I was married then.
Was you a year? Was it 2 years ago now? 2 years ago?
Yeah. I was. Yep.
Attention to detail can well save your life. And I'm happy. I mean,
The background is in the book, like the whole. If I read Single Mom One, what
Mm-hmm.
about you am I gonna find in the book about your single mother journey, right? All
Mm-hmm.
that stuff is in book one. What do I get? If what do I learn about you in book one?
mm,
Oh, and book one.
Yeah.
You will learn that, I got pregnant when I was in high school. It'll start off telling you how I was raised, in which I was raised without my parents. So I knew how that felt to grow up without a mother and father in the picture, right? And so then it explains, like, how I ended up getting pregnant and how I was able to get through it, and the only way that I was able to get through it is by establishing a relationship with the Lord, and learning how to, pray, and then just kind of take the focus off of a relationship and other people, and just, trying to become the woman who, hey, I was put on this earth to be, So pretty much that's what Single Mom One is about, and encouraging others to do the same. Like, I mean, I absolutely believe that, the importance of not only just, attending church, but actually establishing a relationship with the Lord, so that, when you get ready to make decisions, personal decisions, career decisions, professional decisions, you seek him before making those decisions. So yes, that's what Single Mom One is all about. And I'm sorry that I didn't.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, get that. But
as
yeah.
mothers, I have a question. Child of a single mother. I seen every mistake that you could possibly make. So
Mm-hmm.
now I seen some mistakes.
Tell
Uh,
us about them.
uh, y'all young ladies are talking about dating. That's why I asked about dating, because I just seen every type of criminal from Lawton come in our household. I don't think you should do that when you got two children at home. You know what I mean, shout out to my mother, God rest her soul, but that's not a good dating decision. So, you know what I mean, you should criminals to your household because he need a place to lay up while he on parole. That's not a good dating decision. But what mistakes do you feel like you made as a mother that you regret? I mean, looking back at it all. Child of a
Hmm.
single mother, I got questions. And she not here, so I can ask both of y'all.
LaShawn, you go first.
I would say things that I regret. I would say, um, like dating before I knew who I was, dating before I knew my own value. I think that was a huge mistake, and because once I was able to, like, and I'm still a work in progress, still learning who I am, and what my value is. I think I would have done a lot of things differently, I mean, so different, but I think that, and after I had my son, I think, I probably, I probably, now that I think back on it, I think that I could have, taken a leap of faith and probably have gotten married sooner, because my thing is, I didn't want to get married because I was like, I have to make sure that I get my son to the finish line, because I owe that to him. Because I didn't ask. I mean, he didn't ask to, come into this world. So I just kind of felt, I don't know, a sense of, like, kind of guilt. Like, I owe that to him, So I was kind of willing to put, that, as far as getting married, put that on hold until I actually, until he got, became independent. And then I kind of like switched the focus. So, and I don't know if that was, I think that was the right thing to do for, I think it was, but I think that I could have taken a leap of faith, and I think that God would have, you know, made sure that I was okay, but I guess my faith wasn't as strong then. So I was just like living in fear, like, no, I can't do it, because I can't afford to make this, not so much as a mistake, but I just don't want to end up in a situation where I have more kids, and I'm just struggling trying to figure it all out because it was tough doing it with one child. So I didn't want to, take the risk of, having multiple kids and just like, no, or opening my, because you got to think, I mean, the way that I kind of look at it, every time that you have a child, whether it's with the same person or a different person, you open your heart up, hoping that, you get, you're loved and it turns out okay. But then when it doesn't, and you have to deal with that heartbreak, it's devastating. Dealing with heartbreak is devastating. I mean, some people don't even recover from it, because it's just that devastating. And I think it gets to the point where it can be so devastating that a person can't even give their kids their all because they're still like struggling to deal with that deep rooted pain because they can't trust, and sometimes the trust is not that they can't only trust men, they don't even trust women, it's just like the trust is gone, it's yeah. um yeah, yeah, um yeah, that's what
Tanisha,
I was.
what mistakes do you think you made? Your mother, I'm pretty
Well,
sure you're not
my
perfect.
biggest
You
my
know what I mean?
biggest
I'm pretty sure you got a
mistake,
few out there.
because I also grew up without parents, right? My grandma
Mm-hmm.
did an amazing job taking care of me and my two younger brothers, but we definitely grew up without parents. In a house that wasn't like in the best condition, and live in situations that, even though she did the best that she could. And I went to private school, so I don't want to make it seem like that my situation was the worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely could have been better. And I think as a mother, I just wanted to make sure I gave them what I didn't have. And I think I did too much of giving them what I didn't have monetarily, and not enough giving them what I did have, socially and emotionally. My kids need ass whippings, and I ain't give my kids no butt whippings. They are like so they are so super entitled. Okay, daughter has like she crashed 3 cars in a year and is still looking
Oh,
at me like, "Are you gonna get me a new car?" Like my kids are so super entitled. So if I had to go back about 21 years, I'd have left her with my grandmother. And, no, I'm joking.
Wow.
Look, I'm here because I'm with my grandmother, right? Like,
Wow.
oh, geez, my son too. My son is like
Oh, time
the
out. I
best
gotta stand
kid,
up for
but
AJ because I heard you
listen,
talking to
AJ,
AJ. Was it AJ in his
yes,
name?
yes, his name.
Yeah, I heard you talking to
AJ's
me.
an amazing kid.
He
The
sounds
AJ will
very
be like,
intelligent.
he
He was
is
using.
an
He was
he
asking
is
about
an
somebody in
amazing
school. He was
kid.
like, "Now that I recall."
But
So
every day he'll be like, "Are you buying me something on the PlayStation?
yes,
Can we
yes,
stop and get Chipotle?
yes. You got
I want to go to Fogo de Chao today."
yes.
Like
You
my
got
kids
money.
are very super. I don't got
Yes.
nothing.
Yeah.
My let me take that back because the universe hears you. So I got money, but that don't mean I want to spend it on them.
Hey man, you gotta love
My
them,
kids are
baby.
so super entitled. So I really wish that I had did more of giving them what I knew and less of giving them monetary things. Right? They probably didn't need the vacations or the clothes or the shoes or any of that stuff. Obviously, Carver didn't need 3 cars. So I just, if I could go back, I would be more of a disciplinarian, and less of here, mommy's gonna make sure you have this stuff. You're gonna be the flyest kid in the school for freaking what, right? For freaking what? But I guess, like you said, LaShawn, parenting, being a mom, is a ever evolving journey, right? My daughter's
absolutely.
21, and I'm still parenting her.
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
She's 15, and I'm going to be parenting them the entire time I'm on the planet, right? They'll
Yes,
40 and I'll be 60 and I'm still going to be parenting them, right?
that's
Yes.
right.
Because that's the parenting job. So I'm just hoping that somehow over the next 20 years or the next 40 years, I'm able to instill more value,
Yes,
I instilled the last 20 years.
Well, let me
and you will. You
before we wrap
will.
this conversation up as a child of a single parent. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Let me assure you, young ladies, that your child is watching and listening and observing, and hopefully is taking something that you gave them and using it for their greatness. Now, LaShawn, before we wrap this interview up, where can we find the book? want to
Oh, so
we
the
want
book.
to we want to support you, baby. So where can we find all your books at?
Well, thank you. The book is available on my website, which is www.LaShawn.Williams.com. So it's there. All of the books are there. Yeah. And the link is on my IG page, life of underscore LaShawn. So the link to my website are there is there rather. So
Thank you for
yeah.
coming on Impact Radio. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Salutes.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you. It was nice meeting you. Thank you guys. A great conversation. I really appreciate it.
Have a great one. I need a short break and we'll be right back on Impact Radio.
You about to it's me, Nisha, and the Pope. And we are kind of lagging today, right? We're just lagging a little bit. So we got to get the Pope motivated, right? We got to talk about some stuff the Pope wants to talk about. Not Kim Kardashian or Black China, obviously. Neither one of them, obviously. But you do have your meet coming up, and I'm super excited about it. I know you're super excited about it. So you might as well tell people what we can expect. What are you going to be doing? Are you deadlifting? Are you which categories are you competing in? Right? How are you feeling?
One, I feel good. Two, I'm going to be doing the full gusto. And anybody who know me and talked to me over the years, and all my fitness buddies who really, really know me, I used to be an upper body guy, chest day, every day, all day. And
had the little legs.
I had the little teeny legs,
you was
baby.
Johnny Bravo.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo Jr. over here all day, every day. So my first meet I did in October, I was only doing bench press only.
How much did you bench?
330 for my personal max that particular day, which is a lot of freaking weight. I noticed when I was there, I was doing a lot of standing around waiting for my turn, and everybody else was doing everything else. And I was just waiting for that one thing I specialized in. And it was boring. So I had to make a decision. Either I take upon the journey of really being in the world of fitness and doing everything and seeing if I can do it well on the big boy stage, or get the hell out the way. And I chose to determine I went next day, I got home, took a few days off, met up my trainer. I was like, bro, we going deadlift, we going squat. Let's do this.
You don't seem like the get the hell out the way type to me, so I'm happy you decided to, step up and go all for it.
So I had to grow some testicles and determine that I wanted to be one of the big boys. So I'm doing squat, I'm doing deadlift, and I'm doing the bench press. The goal right now is 1,125 pound total.
So how does it work? Are they like? Do you get graded per category? Somebody wins this category, somebody wins this category, somebody wins this category, or all three put together, and then there's like one max winner.
You have your age bracket, your weight, and you have what you're doing. So I'm doing full body, and I'm doing bench press only. So, you know what I mean? Because that was a specialty at the time. So, and then you have a grand total of all the weight that you lift. And if you get to a certain total, you can go to nationals, which is the goal for everybody in this game, because that's where the money at. That's where the money at. Get a little money, get a trip to Vegas, baby. We not make a little gambling, but right now the goal is 1125. I'm gonna try my final squat is gonna be 409. My final deadlift, hopefully, if everything go well, is gonna be 450. And if the rotator cuff act like it want to work, I think I'm just gonna go for 275 for my bench press, and that should be good enough to get me my totals that I want that particular day.
What have your max numbers been so far?
No, I mean, gym normally I do about 4:30, and sometimes the form kind of get a little sticky, but I'm counting on my good friend adrenaline push me through for that last few pounds. Squat, I definitely got it. You know what I mean? Squat, I definitely got it. Bench press, I used to be 330, but rotated cuff, I haven't bench pressed in like 4 months, so we gonna see.
I
I
think
did
you can do this.
225 like the first time, like a week ago, and then it felt pretty good. No pain. The power's still there. It's just, I mean, you don't want that rotated cuff is something serious. I suggest if you ever injure it, pay attention or stay the hell off of it. You know what I mean? So yeah, if everything go well, the arm act like it want to work, I think I can hit 275 easily. I mean, go about my business.
I think you can do this. I'm happy that DJ Smoke and I will be there to support you, right?
We will see,
Team
man.
Unpack
We
Radio
will
will
see.
be
Y'all
there.
acting flaky right now. Y'all
Are we
acting flaky
flaky?
right now. Y'all acting real flaky
Wait, what
right
do I gotta
now.
do next weekend?
Yeah, you might be booed up for all I know.
I don't think so. I don't think he likes me.
You might be all booed up for all I know, but
I don't think he likes me.
I
don't think I like him. So
I know I have the support of my beautiful wife who has been very patient
and
with
that's
me
all that matters.
with this journey. I know she will be there. I know my little big sister said she's coming out to support,
Okay.
and I mean, I appreciate that because we're not on the greatest speaking terms. So, hey, I appreciate her. And maybe you and DJ Smoke, if y'all want to come out and support, I will appreciate it because, it's a team effort, man. Like I put on
effort.
Facebook today, we ready, man. We ready. This is a team.
Well,
this is a team
I'm
effort.
in jail, so I didn't see that. I try to stay off Facebook, but I'm in Facebook jail.
Yeah, well, enjoy
in the comment.
Yeah,
I can't.
well, enjoy your 30 days, man. But we are definitely ready, man. I'm excited to be doing everything. I'm nervous as hell because you had the potential to do it, but at the end of the day, it's just the fear of failing in front of 100 people looking at you. And then USPA, you gotta do it their way. You gotta have a certain depth. You gotta have a certain everything. So if you don't have that, you might as well not even put that shit on your back.
You learn more from your failures than you do from. Not that I want you to fail, obviously, but you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes, right? What's that saying about Edison? Somebody asked him, like a interviewer asked him something about it took him like 100 times or 1,000 times that he failed at creating the light bulb, and they asked him how he felt about that, and he was like, "Well, I learned that there were 1,000 ways."
I stole it from a black man, and then I kept it moving, man.
He said, "I learned 1,000 ways
out there making that filter was
like."
You gonna try to give me a Thomas Edison?
He said, "I learned 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb." Right?
Okay, yeah. Then I looked at that black man doing it. I was like, "Oh, that's how you do that." Don't you be over there with that cultural appropriation history, Tanisha? And I have international friends, but I'm sorry, my international friends, he didn't create black man.
So let's talk about what's going on this week. What have you been tuned into on social media?
I don't know
who is doing what? Like you ain't.
I'm not on social
media. Other
media
than
like
the Kim and Kanye foolishness.
That's the only thing.
Is that all the people are talking about?
Oh my God, Pete went hard with that bedroom picture though. I'm not mad with you, Pete. I'm in your bed sleeping with your
wife. He didn't say ex-wife. He said your wife.
And skeeting on your sheets.
He said your wife.
Now. Yeah, but other than that, man, God rest Razor Ramon. I mean, Scott Hall, rest in peace, man. Damn.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, that's why I'm not going to do the test. I'm not going to do the Anavar or anything else because he was 63 years old when he passed from a heart condition. Rough life for drugs, women, alcohol, and steroids can definitely make things.
Are we sure that's why he died?
Pretty sure between, he Diamond Dallas Page helped him get his life back together because he was addicted to painkillers for a long time because they put themselves in a lot of pain with all that slamming. And even though it looks fantastic and everybody says it's fake, but until you hit that mat, you don't hit it the right way. As the former WWE champion, the black man who just now broke his neck because of a move went bad. Big E. So it can go bad. You can end up fucked up. So it looked fake and it feel fake until you hit that mat the wrong way and then you realize that shit real. So God bless that brother, man.
God rest Razor Ramon.
Gone too soon. Gone too soon, man. Gone too soon.
Did you see D.L. Hughley added entered the chat?
I heard about his.
And I absolutely love
Kanye
it.
put his address out there and everything.
He put his address out there.
He put his address out there and said, "Man, pull up to Calabasas. This is his address right here. pull up to the front gate."
And then Steve Harvey jumps in it.
And said, "Hey, my man D Hell will beat the hell out of you, man."
And then Soulja Boy jumped in it.
Soulja Boy said, "I'm the only person who can talk to Kanye like that." Skeet.
This is too much. This is too much. It's like I don't even want to say it was as entertaining at first, because as a woman, I always thought it was crazy and too much.
To see this picture of Nick Cannon eating this fucking pickle though, since you ain't seen this shit.
No, I ain't seen nothing about Nick and no pickle, but I always thought it was too much. But now it's really too much. Now that everybody's kind of jumping into it.
Hey man, let my man Nick eat that pickle, man. How you like your pickles, Tanisha?
Dilled.
Oh, you like them dilled?
Dilled and from the 7-Eleven. I'm gonna go get one tonight.
Oh no, I'm trying to see the picture. They ain't about to play the interview, man.
Why you send it to Trump?
We can't play Breakfast Club content on this show. We can play it here, and then after that we can delete it later. Yeah, but how do you like your pickles? You like them dilled?
I do. Kosher deals, of course,
like
from the 7-Eleven in the packet.
You like those salty pickles?
Is that what Nick said he liked?
He said he like those salty. He said he like them salty.
Pickles actually really good.
Yeah, pickle real good.
So what?
Do you like a little cream on the tip of it? You know what I mean? That's a little cream.
What are you talking about exactly?
Like a fruit roll up wrapped around your pickle.
Hush. What is wrong with you?
Are you talking about?
Look, you got real perky, didn't you? You must like
pickles
pickles yourself, because you got real perky.
Man. Hey, I like mine chopped. You know what I mean? You eat it with a knife and a fork.
Anyway,
like a gentleman.
Oh, Jesus. Why every episode I gotta call on the Lord? Every time we in the studio, I have to. I just have to channel my energy with Jesus and just ask him to tighten y'all up, because
I don't know. Smoke not even here to join.
He's not, because he's been writing on the foolishness. Thank goodness he's not here.
He's too busy to hang out with us this week.
I get it. It's cool.
Goddamn black people.
All right, what else you got going on?
Next week we got next time we on air, I got one of my buddies chiming in. I'm pretty sure you had somebody chiming in. Next time we're on, would you like to heal together? You know what I mean? Let go of some of our baggage. And then after we put out there in the universe, we're gonna let go of all the pain. How about that?
Is that how it works?
Yes, that's how it works. We don't find a professional, we don't heal together. How about that? We'll let all the pain go.
I don't think that's how it works.
We can
give it a try with you guys.
We can let some of the pain go. Maybe they give us some. You know what I mean? Some.
So you're having a licensed therapist come on?
Yeah, I know a few people that
like
training underneath for some people where we can manage to pull it off. April 8th. That's when we're back. I hope I gave people the right time. If not, it's gonna be a misunderstanding.
So April 8th. April 8th, you're having a
First Lady. Did we say April 8th for our next interview schedule? What I say? Huh? I say April 1st. Oh, well, it look like our next interview gonna be at home, and something's gonna have to teach me how to do the link. So we won't be up in this biggie flick, and everything just got thrown off. Goddamn black folks, boy, oh boy. That's why you can't have them playing nothing by themselves, man. That's man folk. So, Brother Bruce, I will be giving you a call. My bad. But Tanisha, on April 8th, would you like to heal with me?
I guess, if that's what we're doing.
Yes, I would love to heal. You know what I mean? We both have some emotional baggage from parenting. So this be a good opportunity to bring in a professional to release the baggage and heal.
Okay, let's make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen.
We're gonna make it happen. We are. I do promise.
Are you gonna be honest?
I am super honest about my background already.
But we gotta go deep. We gotta get to the pain. And then being honest, like I reflected on some of the stuff I remembered, and then I was like, as an adult, was it really as bad as I thought it was, or am I just being extra? And then I remember that time she whipped our ass with that metal baton. I was like, I don't think I'm being extra. But we don't say that for
I never got spanked as a child.
Now, I didn't say spank. I said ass whooped with a metal baton because my sister lost her keys because we were playing football and my mother decided to whoop us with a metal baton.
I never got spanked
Yeah,
or
nah,
whooped or ass
God dang
whipped
it,
or.
Becky. No, I'm talking about. So we're gonna heal together. Me and Tanisha are gonna let out our baggage, and we're gonna tell some stories. And I don't have human emotions, but I will bring tissues and anything.
You don't have
else.
human emotions.
Like literally this week in training, a trainer lost his wife recently, and he was telling us the story about how he lost his wife, and he was literally crying. One of my classmates, another man, got up and hugged him. I didn't have that in me.
You don't understand empathy.
I understood why he was
Sympathy.
doing it. I understood it was necessary, but I didn't feel like I would do something like that. I do need to.
I mean, well, you don't have to get up and hug anybody to
But
be empathetic to a situation or sympathetic to a situation.
Everybody in there was crying except for me. Literally.
You might need the whole hour to yourself now that we're having this conversation. Like you might,
I'm literally like,
you might need that time,
everybody
sir.
in the room crying, and like I'm just like, I understand why. I mean, I understood why he was
It's
sad.
hard losing people.
But I'm just like, okay.
Dead wife. Let's get back to work, huh?
Yeah, let's get
Yeah,
back.
you're going to need the whole time.
Let's get back to this handcuffing. Let's get back to this handcuffing.
You're going to need the whole
So,
time.
baby, I do need the whole time to myself, but we're going to heal together.
Okay,
and I do got another guest coming in. Hopefully, I told him the right date. I'm about to reschedule.
Who's the other guest?
My man, Shad, been knowing him for a long time, fitness world,
Okay.
After that, I mean, I'm pretty much tapped out. We have to start using your lovely resources and see what they have to say out here in the world. So, we got some interesting stuff coming on. Hopefully, we going on the road, Tanisha and Smoke, want to take that journey 2 hours down the road, and they actually love me.
There's a beach, so I'm going.
Well, I guess they actually do love me. And we're about to get up out of here. Tanisha, where can they find you at?
Of course, you guys can find me on social media. Instagram is at DMV Property Diva. So at DMV Property Diva, or the brokerage at Real Urban Realty at Real Urban Realty. Most of my social media pages are either Real Urban Realty or DMV Property Diva. If you search for either of those, you'll find all of my stuff. Please don't look for me on Facebook because
hey man,
I go to jail one more time.
You can join up with.
If I go to jail one more time, don't mention Trump again. Don't you mention Trump again.
Wherever Isaac Hayes Jr. platform is, God forgive me, brother. I can't remember it. Tanisha gonna look it up. I guess she about to do her Googles. But Isaac Hayes Jr. got a platform out there. Some other dude got a platform out there called Mindfulness. You got First Amendment .com or .social, wherever Donald Trump stuff is, and Isaac Hayes Jr. got something out there. Tanisha doing her Googles. You can find me at the Pope 123. You can find me on Unpack Radio everywhere because that's where I post most of my content at. And I do use other people's social platforms, but I do it for show purposes. So hopefully I can avoid any type of suspicious, because hey man, we gotta keep it out there, baby. Got to keep people perked up. And if you want to
fan base,
thank you, Tanisha, man. That's why. And you the best co-host ever, because I could not remember that shit. So please sign up for fan base and follow Tanisha. She'll be there next week.
Melanin People.
Melanin People.
Melanin People. That's a social media site that was started by Blacks, and it's really big on promoting Blacks and getting Black to join. I have a Melanin People.
You have a Melanin?
I have a Melanin People page. That's what I'm gonna be at, because apparently it's okay for me to say the men are crazy over there, but not. Okay, it's hate speech on Facebook. So I'm heading right over. So everybody follow me.
That's where you can find Tanisha from now on. You can find me on Mark Zuckerberg platform, because I don't want that smoke, bro. I just want to promote my radio show and keep it moving. I will see y'all guys soon. If not, I will be reporting back when we're back on air on April 8th, because I made a bunch of mistakes. So we're going to have to fix that shit. But we'll be back on April 8th, and we'll be healing together. Me and Tanisha be talking about all our problems. We're going to clear the air. And if you want to hear some horrifying stories, next week is going to be the show. All right, we'll see y'all next time we're on Unpack Radio. Salute.